friends, I'm Erin Helly, owner and founder of BC Global Investments, and I'm so glad that you're here. So thank you for joining me. I promise you I'm going to make this very productive and I'll make it worth your time. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about me, and then I'm gonna tell you about my journey and how I became a financially free millionaire mom, and I'm gonna share with you exactly how you could do that too. So first off, I am an Army veteran, I'm a mom of two, and I'm a military spouse. And now I am a business owner, and I really get to spend most of my time with my kids, traveling the world, doing whatever I want to do because of real estate. So it all started about 6 years ago. I was still on active duty. My husband was active duty as well, and we had our daughter. And the Army told me, both of us really, that we were going to deploy at the same time. And I could not leave my daughter. And so I got out without even thinking about it. I had already fulfilled my obligation. I was able to submit my letter of resignation. My request, really, they accepted it. I was out within about 5 months, and I never really looked back. That was a really tough transition for me, and going through that transition was really eye-opening because I realized how much nobody really cared about me or my situation or my financial future. I realized I was kind of on my own, which is scary and daunting and a little bit disappointing, but also incredibly liberating, because once I realized that I was in control and I was in charge and I was the only one who would care as much about my future and my life, then I knew that I had to take control. So I started investing in real estate, and it started off kind of slow. But like I said, that was about 4 years ago when I bought my first investment, 4.5 years ago actually. And since then, we've purchased 91 rental units. We've also invested in a couple of different automated businesses, and our cash flow is about $14,000 a month. So that's completely passive income. I don't have to do anything for that. I get paid when I sleep. I get paid when I'm traveling to our Airbnbs, when I'm hanging out with the kids. And that's obviously incredibly liberating. Our net worth was $120,000 at the time when I got out of the Army, and it's about 1.6 million right now. And like I said, I'm just getting started. I realize every year we get more and more efficient, we buy more and more doors, and we just get better at it, and our income just keeps going up and up, and it's awesome. And there's these very basic steps that we've repeated over and over again in order to accomplish this wealth, this real generational wealth that we can hand down to our kids if we choose to, and we're able to be generous and give back in a way that I never really thought I could as a 36-year-old, or 35. I'm only 35. I'm almost 36. But it's amazing. It's life-changing. And don't get me wrong, I'm sitting here acting like it's all super easy and it all just happens. That's not true at all. I worked my butt off. I didn't take a day off for like 2.5 years. It wasn't until the third year that we really started to hit our stride and we really started to be successful. That was kind of at the tail end of COVID, or like right when COVID first hit. Obviously that was a really scary time. We weren't sure what was going to happen to our portfolio. We were stuck under this really expensive flip in an affluent neighborhood of Nashville. It was about a $700,000 home that we sold for $525,000, because $525,000, way less than we should have, because we didn't really know what the market was going to do, and it shifted so quickly. Nobody set foot in that house for 10 days, and we got an offer, we accepted it, and we moved on. And at that point, I was worried about everything. I felt like the entire portfolio was in jeopardy. I'd only been an investor for about 2 years at that point. But COVID actually did great things for our portfolio, and it's allowed us to, we've just bought a Tesla cash. I bought my Audi cash last year. We purchased a Disney Timeshare, and our life has just been so amazing ever since. And I now have this ability and this time to help other people do the same, and it's awesome, and I love it, and that's what I want to do for you guys too. But so to go through these steps, I'm a big fan of systems and processes, and I think this is the key to success in any business, is to create these systems that you can replicate over and over again, and you can do the routine things routinely so that you can focus on the higher level tasks, and which is growing your portfolio and analyzing properties. Because if you're not doing that, you're not going to be able to continue to buy properties and add properties to your portfolio. So before you can even really do that, though, you first have to wrap your head around this concept of the industry as a whole and how powerful it can be. So there are some amazing, very compelling stats about real estate. For example, 90% of the world's millionaires made their money in real estate. That is a fact. The real estate industry generates more wealth than all other industries combined, okay? The other really interesting thing now that we are at the front side of a recession is more millionaires come out of recessions than any other phase of the market cycle. So it's totally normal for us to be in a recession. It's part of our market cycle. We're constantly cycling. This is where millionaires are made. The Great Depression made more millionaires than any other time in history. So if you learn how to build your wealth now and you put one foot in front of the other and you take action and you do the things I'm going to tell you to do, you will come out of this recession in a way better place than you are right now, and you could be a millionaire. They actually predict that by 2026, so I'm recording this in 2022, but they predict that by 2026, there will be 24% more millionaires than there are right now. So that means 24% more people are going to have a net worth of $1 million. That doesn't mean $1 million cash. I would bet that most of those millionaires don't have a lot of cash at all, because during recessions and inflation happens and the value of that cash decreases. And so rich people, wealthy people don't keep their money in cash. They invest in income producing assets and assets that will appreciate in value, like real estate. And they get rid of their cash because it's not worth as much. So if you can apply those same principles, you can become wealthy during this time too. So step one is just completely understanding the power of real estate and harnessing that power. So realize that real estate is the real deal, and this is the most effective way to build wealth. It is a tried and true way to build wealth. There's also 4 ways to make money in real estate. So one of them is amortization, which is a fancy way of saying paying down your mortgage. So when you buy a property, you put down your down payment, and a mortgage holder holds a mortgage for 20 or 30 years, and every month you pay that down. That's called amortization. So the principal balance of your loan is going down every single month. Meanwhile, your property is appreciating. And so that gap is widening. And what happens there, this is your net worth getting bigger and bigger. So even if you only buy one property, your tenant is going to pay down your mortgage, and it's going to grow in value literally every month. And your net worth is going to grow every month, even if you don't save any money or invest in anything else. So that can be super, super powerful if you don't even know where to start. Okay, so you have amortization and appreciation. You also have tax benefits for rental real estate. You get to write off your mortgage interest, which is paid off by your tenant every single month. And you get to write off other things that you normally use every single day. So I'm not an accountant. I'm not going to give you any advice about accounting, but I'm going to tell you there are significant tax benefits that you can take advantage of as a real estate investor. And when we talk later about building your team, one of your team members is an accountant. So you want to find someone who knows what they're doing, who understands real estate, and can help guide you to have a really strong tax strategy, because that's a huge part of your wealth building overall strategy. And that's the third way to get paid. And the last way is just the icing on the cake, cash flow. So cash flow comes when you have all the income, take all the income of the property, maybe it's rent plus coin-operated laundry machines or some storage facilities, and then you take all the expenses, principal, interest, taxes, insurance, lawn care, electricity, maybe you have some other landscaping, snow removal. Add up all those expenses, you take your income, subtract your expenses, what you're left with is your cash flow. And that's just icing on the cake. That's money that you get to take home at the end of every month, and that just sits in your bank account, and you can either plus up your bank account, or you can reinvest that money somewhere else, which is what I choose to do. Okay, so that's step one. You have to just truly harness the power of real estate. And then you can move on to step two, which is set your goals. Now, this isn't as simple as saying, I want to be financially free, or I want to build real wealth. You have to get so much more specific. And to get more specific, you really need to work on your why. So I'm sure you guys have heard, it starts with why. You've heard about the power of your why. And why that's so powerful is because it forces you to, when you define your why, you have to see what you're working toward, what you want your life to look like. What is it all for? Why real estate? Why do you want to focus in real estate? And the more specific that you can be on this, the more easily you'll be able to set your goals, and the easier it's going to be to make decisions that align with the life that you want to build. Why is that important? Because if you don't know where you're trying to go, you're over here, you're trying to go over here, you're probably not going to end up getting there in a direct route, and that's going to take a lot of time. It's going to take a lot of frustration and heartache. But if you know exactly where you want to go, and you can be really honest with yourself, and you know exactly where you are, you can chart the most direct path possible to get there, and get there as quickly as you can. So one of the things I really focus on with my clients is developing your why and spending a ton of time and really, really thinking about your why. Because if you can get honest with yourself and define that in a way that's really, really powerful and meaningful and compelling for you, there's gonna be no stopping you, honestly. Like, if you know exactly what you're working toward and you're working for, and you commit to that, there's nothing gonna get in your way. And this is where you learn about these like 18-year-old kids who bought 500 rental units in their first year, because they know what it's all for. They know their why, and they've committed to it. So that's what I want you guys to do. Commit to your why, and then you can set your goals. So if you know that if you're like me, for example, and you want to travel the world with your kids, hang out on the beach with a Mai Tai, you want to visit your family all over the place, you want to climb every mountain, kayak every sea, whatever. I literally want to do all those things. But you also know that money does not need to be a consideration, then it's all about passive income, right? I don't really need to be managing renovations. That's a full-time job. That's not what I want. I don't need to be building houses. I don't need to be doing flips. I need to be buying rental real estate that pays me every month while I'm sleeping, while I'm traveling. So that's what it's all about for me. And so now that I know that, I then need to decide what's the dollar amount associated with all those things that I want to do, right? All my living expenses, plus my entertainment, plus my food, travel, how much is it going to cost me to run my car, insurance, gas, all that stuff. Add all those up, and then give yourself even more of a buffer, because I want my life to be way better every single year. So plus that up a little bit, and that's what my monthly income needs to be in order for me to do whatever I want and not be concerned about money. So it's not just enough to say, I want to be financially free. You have to define what financial freedom is for you. And ours was about $7,700. That would allow us we live in Tennessee, so that would allow us to pay off all of our expenses, do whatever we want entertainment-wise, travel-wise, and that was just the money that we needed. And we achieved that in less than 4 years, and we're about 4.5 years in now, and we're at almost $14,000 in passive income. A lot of that happened when we started investing in automated businesses. And that's something that I work with my clients on too. So anyway, you need to figure out what your why is and set your goals, okay? So those goals have to be really, really tailored into your why. So I had said I want this financial freedom. So let's say I want to be financially free in 5 years. That means my $7,700 a month has to be accomplished in that 5 years. So in 2 years, I probably want to have $3,000 per month of passive income. Then you can figure out how many properties you need to buy in order to accommodate that number. So typically my properties bring me in about $300 a month. So I would need to buy 10 single family homes for $300 a month in order to get to my $3,000 a month. So let's say that was my goal at 2 years. So that means in 1 year, then I probably want to have like 3 maybe, because the first year is hard and you learn how to scale it and you learn how to get more efficient. You learn how to submit better offers, you build a stronger team, and things just get easier and things scale. And that's one of the most amazing things about real estate. So you kind of backwards plan, and it's so important that you get to this month. What do you need to be doing today? What do you need to be hitting this week and this month in order to accomplish your 10-year goal or your 5-year goal or achieve financial freedom? And I'll help you do all of those things and help you find KPIs, key performance indicators, that will show you whether or not you're working in the right direction and show you whether or not the effort you're putting in is actually getting you the results that you need. Okay, so that's step 2, set your goals. So step 1, we harness the power of real estate, And then step 2, we're working on setting your goals. Those 2 are the most critical part of these 8 steps, because if you don't do these right, you might pursue the wrong strategy. You might end up being in the wrong space for a while and just getting frustrated and disillusioned and upset. You might throw in the towel, you might not pursue it. So it's really important that you fully take the time to do this, and that way you can move on to the next 6 steps, which get a little bit more specific and start to flow a little bit quicker. So step 3 is to build your team. And so you're gonna have to have people on your team that can help you find the deals, analyze the deals. You're gonna want people that are gonna help you analyze your market, which is step 4. You're gonna need an accountant, like we talked about earlier. You may need a lawyer that you wanna call. You're gonna need a title company to help you close your deals, an inspector, all kinds of people on your team, because you don't wanna be the subject matter expert. And there's people that you absolutely need to close your deals anyway. So I'm gonna help you build your team from the very first person that you need. I think the most important person is a mentor or a coach or an accountability partner. You don't have to have all of them, but I think you need to have at least one of them, and that they're gonna hold you to your goals. They're gonna hold you to those goals that you set in step 2. Okay, so step 3 is build your team. Step 4, then we're going to find the market that you wanna focus on. Maybe this is your market, the place that you live. Maybe it's a place that you hope to live someday. Maybe it's a place you've never been or never heard of, but you just see the writing on the wall. You see that this area is increasing in value, it's appreciating, and you just have to take advantage of it. Whatever the reason, we are going to analyze that market inside and out. We're gonna look from a really broad perspective, like a macro view, and we're gonna focus down to a very micro specific view of that market, so you can decide exactly where you want to invest, and more importantly, what you wanna stay away from. And you can decide where you wanna focus in that market, because you could just basically throw a dart at a wall and say, I wanna invest in Raleigh, North Carolina, and you can pull up Zillow, and you're gonna see everything from studio apartments to 12-bedroom houses. You're gonna see a price from $100K to $5 million. You need to know where to look, otherwise you're never gonna be able to stop looking, and you're gonna get stuck in analysis paralysis, which is where so many investors get stuck. But if you've done your homework and you've figured out your why and you've set your goals, you now know where you wanna focus and where you have to focus to accomplish those goals. So you can get really specific and your team can help you with this. Like your realtor is gonna be able to help you and say, okay, these are your goals. You need to look at properties that are about this size, about this price point, in order to generate the ROI, return on investment, that you need. So you're gonna use your team for all that. So that's step 4, find your market. Then you're going to analyze your properties. We talked about this a little bit before. Analyzing properties is actually the easiest part here. People always say, I'm not good at math, I'm not good at the numbers, but if you've graduated the 3rd grade, maybe even like the 1st grade, you can do this. It's literally addition and subtraction. You just total up all the money coming in, total up all the money coming out, take the money coming in, you subtract the money coming out, and what you're left with is cash flow. You're gonna build in contingencies and build in buffers in case your furnace goes out or in case your roof leaks. You're gonna have these built in there, and then you're gonna know what kind of a cash flow, monthly cash flow that property is gonna generate. You're also gonna know exactly what your return on investment is based on how much money it's gonna cost you to buy that property. It's very simple. And so after that, once you're analyzing properties and you find a property that aligns with your goals and accommodates what you're pursuing, you're going to just make the offer. You're gonna get out there, you're gonna make an offer, and you're gonna close that deal, okay? So step 6 is make offers. Step 7 is purchase those properties and close it. And step 8, the easiest one, just repeat this process. You just repeat it over and over again. So that is it. These are the very basic 8 steps that you can use to buy rental real estate, buy your first property, buy your 100th property, repeat it over and over again to build real wealth, build real income, and make money while you sleep.
Erin Helly is the real deal. She provides coaching that is individualized for new investors like me or more seasoned investors She meets you where you're at. She helps you develop a plan to take it to the next level. She's done every real estate deal out there. She has the connections. Erin will help you level up. You cannot go wrong with Erin. She's the real deal.
Hey, it's Perry Keenan, and I want to take a second and tell you a little bit about Erin Helly. Listen, she is on top of her real estate game. She is caring. I've seen her work with people, and she is someone that you want to work with too. She's sharp, she's intelligent, she's done a lot of deals, and she is pulling people up through her network, helping them get to a level where they really don't have to worry about income. Now, it's not something that's going to happen overnight, but I promise if you follow the systems that she's putting in place, she will help hold your hand all the way through the process until you can take off and run on your own. I'm telling you, she is the real deal, and you would be blessed to work with her. Y'all have an awesome day.
Okay, so now you've heard my story, you've heard about my system, and you've heard what my clients have to say about me. It's your turn to act. You can either continue to sit on the sidelines and maybe grow your net worth a little bit, or maybe buy your first property, or you can let me help you. The one thing I didn't share with you was the single biggest factor in me scaling my portfolio was hiring a mentor and taking a course. It absolutely catapulted me to success, and it took me from just dabbling in real estate to buying a 10-unit property and becoming a full-fledged professional investor. And I want to do the same for you. I'm going to share with you the very specific details for all of those steps. I'm going to tell you exactly what to do. I'm going to break it down. You'll get access to those videos, all the calculators, all the documents that you need to use to analyze your properties, analyze your market. Literally, I'm going to hand you everything that you need. All you have to do is enroll, and then you'll be surrounded by a bunch of other investors who are doing what you want to do, who are successful, who are getting things done and are working together, building net worth, increasing their monthly passive income constantly. And it is a game changer surrounding yourself with people like that. So stop thinking about it. Get yourself out of analysis paralysis. Buy the course, enroll today. Let's get started. Let's work together. Let's all grow significant worth together. This is the number one course there is out there. I know because I've taken so many of them. I'm not a guru who's gonna tell you you're gonna get rich quick. I've told you it took me 4 years to achieve financial freedom. In the grand scheme of things, that's not a long time, but it doesn't happen overnight. It is hard work. You have to be willing to put in the work, but I'm gonna tell you exactly what you need to do so you can be productive and you can be successful as a result of that work. It's not gonna happen overnight. It is gonna take hard work. I did say it was simple, but I never said it was easy. But I will be there with you every step of the way. I will hold your hand. I will introduce you to the people that you need to be successful. I'll help you find the money. I'll help you find the deals. I'll be live on Facebook every single week, going over specific coaching, specific training, and we are gonna work on our game together. We're gonna escalate together. And I will always be there. I'm just a call, a text, an email away. I'll look at all your deals. I'll help you analyze your properties. I'll check out your numbers. I'll be a second set of eyes. Whatever it is that you need, this is about you and your journey. I have no agenda here besides helping you to achieve your why, helping you to build the life that you want and live out your why. So I don't know what you're waiting for. I hope that you just decide right this minute to enroll. Enroll, that's all you have to do, and I promise you, if you do the things I tell you to do, you're going to be successful.